All right. As far as Britt's situation goes, I'm not going to talk about that. There's nothing that I can say that or deals with that. It's going to help us be successful for this weekend against the Titans. And Britt really said it all in his statement yesterday, which I believe is public. So with that, as far as the injuries go, Jody Fortson really is the only one that's not going to practice today. He's got a quad contusion. And then the people that are coming back here, McDuffie will be back, Yang will be back, and then we added Kadarius, which I think we know, and he's healthy. He'll practice. Fenton, we traded to Atlanta, and we're wishing him the best of luck. You know, we've got corners. We have corners coming back now, so we've got depth with some young guys. So we continue to utilize them and let them continue to grow, which they're doing every week. And then about the Titans, I mean, this is a good football team. Every minute that we can spend studying them and learning their scheme, mastering it, and then mastering our schemes to play against them, I think is important. Limiting distractions is important, and working hard on the practice field is important. Getting back into the swing. We've had a week off here, so getting back into the swing of playing the game. And like I said, they're good offensively. They're good defensively. At defensive front, you're going to find they're one of the better ones in the National Football League. Their head coach is a defensive mastermind. He's a sharp dude and presents you different pictures every week. He designs them for you and for your team specifically on formations and tendencies that you might have. And then offensively, you start with 22, and he's a good football player. So a future Hall of Famer, and just a heck of a player. And the special teams wise, I think they're ranked in the top 10 in special teams. So all in all, it's a good football team. But we look forward to that challenge. That's why we do this, and it's an opportunity to go against a good team. It's important though that we have a good week of practice, and it started today. So with that, time's yours.
Andy, Frank Clark had maybe his most productive game of the year before against the 49ers. Do you have anything to say to him before he left on his suspension?
I did. Just which he'll do. Stay in shape. He's gone through the other process, the law enforcement process. So, but to stay in shape, he'll be out a week at him, and then he's back. But he'll do the right things. I mean, obviously he's a good player. You miss that, but it gives other guys opportunities to step up, which our guys do. So.
Coach, you mentioned Lucas Niang back to practice, obviously opening up his 21-day window. What about Blake Bell? Is he getting closer to return?
Yeah, Blake's close. He's close. We'll just see how he does here the next week or two, and see where we're at. But he's back. Niang worked hard. He's back in, which is, like you said, Herbie. We'll see how he does. These guys that come back off of these long stints off, I want to see how they do on the field before we throw them in there.
It doesn't look like we perhaps know who's going to start for them at quarterback, right, with Tannehill being a little bit hurt. You know all about him. What have you seen from Willis in this short little bit you've seen?
Yeah, he's an exciting player now. And even though he's young, he's thrown a ton of balls in his time. So, and then we know about the ability to run, and you've got he comes out last week and does a nice job. So we'll be ready for both of them in case that's the situation. So we'll get ourselves prepared for both.
So the 49ers work Christian McCaffrey in right away. Is that more difficult to do when a wide receiver comes to your team just because of what he has to learn within the play?
Yeah, we'll try to work him in, though. We're going to try to do it. He's a smart kid. He's been with us now a couple of days, so we had a chance to talk to him, and he, he picks things up fairly easy. He was with Kafka too, so that, Mike, a little bit of the plays, terminology, even though they're using mostly the Buffalo things, but a little bit of it's familiar to him. At least he has a foundation, somewhat of a foundation.
Andy, Duffy's back now, but was it a tough decision to whether to play him or not against the 49ers or even the week before against the Bills, or where was he in that regard?
Yeah, so we try to, you know how we do it. I mean, we try to keep open communication with these guys and see what they're feeling, and their coaches know them, see what the coach sees, talk with the player, see how he feels, and then obviously our medical staff and trainers. So when it was all said and done, we just said, you know what, he needs a little bit more time. And he's been great communication-wise with us. We know he wants to play, but it's.
Andy, I know you said you're not going to talk about the case now that it's reached its conclusion, but moving forward, as Brett's father, how will you try to best support him during his sentence and when he may be free?
Yeah, so Nate, listen, that's not what this platform's for. You know, that's my point. I know you guys have a job to do, and you have editors that push you guys like head coaches push assistant coaches. So I get it. But this isn't the time or the place. And what I say can go two different ways and be taken different ways. And I don't want to put my players in a position for that, the organization in a position for that, my family in a position for that. My opinion doesn't matter right now. Doesn't matter. All that doesn't matter. I'll take care of that. We all in our lives have issues that we have to deal with. You do your issues, and then when you're at work, you do your work, right? And so that's the frame of mind I'm in. I appreciate, your concern, though. I'm not saying that, but that's not something that needs to be addressed here in front of, everybody.
Coach, I know you mentioned distractions, when we talk about Frank, being out for the 2 weeks and everything, we hear when there's an announcement, he's gonna be suspended or he's got a court date or something. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, obviously, behind the scenes. You mentioned everybody, you have home and you have here, you've got legal different things he's gotta do. Is there a support system within the organization, within the staff? Is it a position coach? Is it, and how you help guide Frank in this situation, but other situations, whether it's Willie or whatever, like how that works? And maybe you could shed a little light on how.
Yeah, sure. We hired Dr. T here a few years ago here, so, and he, he obviously takes care of I hate saying it, but the mental part of it, and make sure that the guys are okay upstairs. Normally, their agents have a law enforcement part that a lawyer group that they work with. So that's how that part goes, That's basically.
Do you get involved?
And then the coaches talk to them, absolutely. We keep open communication,
Last two.
Coach, just want to ask you about Derrick Henry, a guy that's always, sorry.
No, that's all right.
Oh, it's just a guy who's always, kind of a thorn in your guys' side. You think you've faced him 5 times since he's joined the Titans, and even though you guys have been able to hold him before, he still is so explosive. So is there any different approach going into this game, just knowing what he's capable of?
Yeah, there are going to be things that you're going to try to do to stop him. I mean, I think the whole NFL's tried that, somewhere. So he's a great player, and you're not going to stop him on every play. You just want to get him. You want to get the numbers up where it's reasonable of stops, and but he's a good one. I know our guys will be fired up for it, and they're going to work their tail off this week to play against him because he's that. Like I said, he's a future Hall of Fame player. You get excited about that.
Last two.
Coach, I know you guys have used Sky at the punt return position and bringing in Kadarius. Now, how much can he help with the punt return? How much went into bringing him in? His ability to do punt return?
Yeah, I wanted to see kind of where he's at, just shape-wise out there, running around, and but we know he can do it, and you'll see him out there catching balls with the group, the pre-practice group that goes out. So, but let me just kind of see it and see where we're at with it. and where he's at. We got a couple plays in for him here and there, and so but I haven't had a chance to be out on the field with him, yet. Let's see where we go with that, and then go from there. He seems like a great kid, and he's anxious. I mean, he wants to go. And he knows I'm kind of holding back because I want to see what's going on. But.
Last one, Jeremy.
Andy, how would you describe Patrick's growth this year in distributing the ball, based on what the defense is giving him?
Yeah, I think he's done a good job with it. I think the older the quarterbacks get, they know when to be patient, check it down, when to take the shots, against what coverages. I think he's there. He's now seen the man coverages early, the zone coverages, whether it's single safety, middle, in between, and then the shell coverages, the twos, the fours, the quarter halves. And so he's got that in the memory bank to work with, and so I think he's in a good place that way.
All right.
Where he's at.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.